magical star beings, this is Psychic Siren Tarot, your favorite tarot reader, and welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at how have they recently described you to others for the person on your mind. Have you ever felt like someone's secretly against you, where there's a weird energy there and you just can't figure out why? Well, that happened to me recently with friendship drama, and I know you love a little tea, so I'll share without giving too much away. And let me tell you, what I discovered completely shocked me. To get clarity, I tried something that actually works thanks to today's video partner, Psychic Source. Some friends of mine started having their own conversations without me. At first, I tried to not take it personally, but then the little petty, passive-aggressive comments and jabs started. Someone else pointed this out to me, and I realized something is off. So that's when I booked 3 different psychics and Psychic Source to see if I'd get similar messages, and I did. The first psychic told me that one of them basically stopped me from growing the other friendships and that they're not real friends. The second psychic said something very similar, that they're fake, shallow, jealous, and that I intimidate them, which I didn't expect. She said that they act helpful but aren't really supportive, which is such weird behavior in my opinion. Now, the third psychic told me something that literally blew my mind. She revealed that gossip twisted how they saw me and that others' lies had affected the group dynamic. And I just don't get why you would believe somebody else's lies over asking me the truth. Suddenly, I could see my blind spots and who I couldn't trust. I didn't want to stop with just one reading. I wanted to be sure. After talking to all the 3 different psychics, what amazed me was how their insights lined up. Each one gave me a piece of the puzzle that helped me see the bigger picture. That is the beauty of Psychic Source. You're not limited to one style or one perspective. You can choose how you want your reading, whether by phone, video, or chat, whatever feels most comfortable. And because only 2% of applicants are accepted, you know you're connecting with someone truly gifted. And if it doesn't resonate, they have a satisfaction guarantee. Their accuracy was scary in the best way. They knew exactly what happened as if they were there, and it helped me see the situation clearly. If you need answers like me about love, career, or anything in life, Psychic Source is hooking up new customers in my community with a special deal. Use my code Siren at trypsychicsource.com/Siren when checking out, or you can use my link in the description box below at trypsychicsource.com/Siren. For a limited time, you can get 40 minutes with an advisor for just $19.80. That's up to a $240 value. No other service comes close to offering this kind of deal. Don't wait, find the clarity you need today. They also donate 1% of your purchase to charity, which I really respect and admire. Thank you to Psychic Source for sponsoring today's video. So getting back to your pal selection, you can either choose based off the zodiac sign in the thumbnail, your own zodiac sign, this person's zodiac sign, or you can choose the pal you're most drawn to. So for pal 1, we have Rose Quartz with the Ace of Cups reverse. Then for pal 2, we have Red Jasper with the 9 of Swords. Then for pal 3, we have Orange Calcite with the Page of Pentacles. I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. Once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, then I'll see you at your reading. Hi pile 1, if you chose the Rose Quartz Crystal and the Ace of Cups showing up reverse, and this is your reading, we're going to be taking a look at how have they recently described you to others. This is for the person on your mind, so please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest, and you can keep them in mind while I shuffle your cards. So this won't resonate with everybody, but I'm seeing someone that lives near the ocean. I'm seeing someone that works as a marine biologist. Why can't I say that word? Biologist. Oh my gosh. Anyways, something about like working with sea creatures is coming through. Something about like moving on fast as well, like when you go through a breakup. So let's see what comes up in the actual cards. So Spirit Guides of Pile 1. How does this person on their mind describe them to others? How have they recently described them to others? So we have the Page of Cups showing up reversed. Then we have the Chariot showing up reversed. And we have the Four of Cups. Okay, so they describe you as someone that gets bored really easily. You may be the type of person that kind of needs to switch things up in your routine a lot. Otherwise, you get just really bored easily. You can't do the same thing over and over again. It just gets really repetitive and boring for you. They also describe you as someone that is very self-aware, I'm hearing. You're not naive at all. They could describe you as someone that is pretty nonchalant as well, but deep down they know you care. Like, even if you don't always show it through affection, or even if you don't show it through your words, deep down they know you do care. There's something about sarcasm and a good sense of humor coming through. So, this person sees you as someone that is very introspective. You have a lot of self-discipline, but they are saying that lately you're in this phase where you're kind of reassessing your path and reflecting, kind of trying to get through challenges, setbacks, but sometimes you don't exactly know how you're going to do that, but you end up doing that anyway. Maybe there's this loss of control or lack of direction too right now. But they do believe that you will eventually find that. Maybe you're just in a period of your life right now where you don't know what's next. You're kind of, how I said before, in a phase of self-reflection. You're also reassessing your emotional priorities and your approach to relationships. There's something about going through some kind of separation or breakup here. It doesn't have to be romantic, but maybe you almost felt disappointed, feeling like that person wasn't giving you the same type of love you were giving them. So let's pull some more cards. So next we have the Fool. We have the Magician showing up reverse. And we have the Six of Cups. So some of you could be asking about someone from your past, and maybe that's why the moving on so fast message came through, even if that's not true. Maybe that's just their perspective of this. If this is not someone from your past, then maybe they have seen you kind of in those relationships in your past, and they're seeing your relationships now. And like how you moved on from those people from your past. They do describe you as someone that is free-spirited, carefree. You're able to take risks. You have this jolly, cheerful personality about you. You're super loyal. This person sometimes doesn't know whether they should or should not trust you because of the fact that you seem to get like bored really easily. Sometimes they're scared that you would get bored of them and just leave. But okay, now I don't know if this is true, if this person's just like talking a little bit of shit about you, sorry. But I'm seeing this energy of them say that you can be manipulative at times, you can be deceptive, immature and controlling. So I don't know if some of you are asking about someone that you presume is an op or hater, but that's kind of what's coming through. If it doesn't resonate at all according to this person, then I guess you can just skip over that message. Maybe it was for somebody else. They also describe you as someone that can kind of be scattered in a way. I'm almost getting like this energy is someone that goes from one task to the next and doesn't always like complete all the tasks they plan to do. Kind of just a very spontaneous person. You go with the flow. There's something about you being a very playful person, someone that's always connected with your inner child. And if this is someone from your past, then perhaps they kind of reminisce on memories you've had together when they talk about you. Maybe they talk about the memories you have. Something about missing you. We have the Nine of Cups. Or they could just, even if this is not someone from your past, they could just speak about memories you have together. So we have the Nine of Cups, the High Priestess reverse, the Seven of Swords, and the King of Wands. Okay, so I'm getting the same energy here. So maybe I am picking up on someone that kind of is a hater or an up, or someone that just doesn't trust you anymore. And keep in mind that this is their perspective. It's not necessarily true unless you relate to these messages and feel like you need to do some work on yourself, then do that. But just keep in mind this is their perspective. So the High Priestess reverse can relate to a lack of trust in someone. With the Seven of Swords, also like a message of someone almost being shady or hiding something. So this person believes that you've hid something from them, that you've lied to them, that you've gone behind their back. And this is partly because they wanted something here with the Nine of Cups, but maybe they couldn't receive it from you. Maybe for some of you, this person kind of felt like there was some kind of like unrequited love situation here where they loved you and you didn't love them back. Maybe that's why the moving on fast message came through. Something about like a lack of commitment you showed to them. Or like maybe you promised something to them but didn't follow through on that. I feel like this person is kind of angry about this. They really suspect that you're hiding something from them and that you're being secretive and doing something behind their back. This person is saying that they wanted to trust you. They wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt. But something just isn't adding up for them. For some reason, I'm seeing a rainbow in my mind's eye. That could mean something different for all of you. Rainbows typically represent hope. Someone being like a colorful person. Maybe someone here is from the LGBTQ plus community. Five of Wands, the Ten of Cups reverse, and the Six of Swords. They're saying that you changed. I don't know if you had a conflict with this person with the Five of Wands, and your attitude changed towards them as a result of that. Maybe things were said on both sides that were not right or fair. And this person just feels like you weren't fully fulfilled in the relationship you once had or have currently. They just feel like very disconnected from you in some way. Especially after this conflict happened or falling out happened. It's like your whole behavior or attitude changed towards them is what they're saying. I don't know why these messages are coming through so negative. Like, I was expecting a positive reading here. Nine of Wands. We have the Queen of Swords reverse. And we have the Knight of Swords. So with the Queen of Swords reverse and the Nine of Wands, this is kind of like the energy of unspoken words being said behind your back. Like the unspoken things they've always wanted to say to your face, but never did. And now they're speaking about it to other people. You know, like when you go through an issue with somebody and they go and speak behind your back and say a bunch of things about you, but they'll never quite say it to your face. But then they go and vent about you to other people when they have that issue or problem with you. That's kind of like the energy I see here. This person, I wouldn't say they're cowardly, but they struggle to say what's truly on their mind. They struggle to be honest in difficult conversations like this where They can truly say what they feel. With the Five of Swords at the back of the deck, this person felt betrayed by you, or felt like you weren't fully there for them, or felt like you just didn't have their best interest in mind. They believe that you are watching them in some way, that you have your eye on them in some way. Because I'm seeing this raven follow someone around, which makes me think of like this person saying to other people you're internet stalking them, or that you're kind of watching them, keeping your eye on them. They just say that they had have a very difficult relationship with you, and they don't know if these issues can actually be worked through. But the problem here is I think this person expects quick change. And the problem is, that you know when you have like a difficult relationship with someone where you don't quite get along that well, or you have issues in your connection, you can't always expect change overnight. Like sometimes we have to communicate, sometimes we have to talk about our feelings so that the other person can understand. And maybe this is all a misunderstanding. I don't know, but it's almost like this person is assuming how you feel, or assuming these things about you. But if they just had a conversation with you, maybe you could clear things up and say, look, no, that's not true. Like, I wouldn't betray you. I wouldn't do that to you. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like it isn't helping that this person's going behind your back and saying these things when they could talk to you about these things, and maybe you guys could fix things in your relationship if you knew what they were feeling. Do you get what I mean? And if you're not wanting to fix this relationship with this person, then I guess it's just best to maybe distance yourself from them, because yeah, I just don't see positive talk about you here. This person is saying that you are stubborn and that you don't see eye to eye with each other. That you try to get along, but it's very hard for you to get along. Your personalities clash in some way. I do think there is some quite negative talk in the sense of them kind of using cuss words, swearing, calling you names, which I feel bad saying this, but this is just what's honestly coming through for me energetically. So, you know, this person has spoken about thinking about apologizing to you about the things they did, because they're not completely innocent either in this situation. Both of you maybe did or said some things to each other that were not okay. But at the same time, they're kind of stubborn about it. It's almost like they expect an apology from you first before they apologize. So let me see what I can get clairvoyantly about what else they're saying or how else they're describing you. This person's saying that they still love you and that you broke their heart. I'm literally seeing the words, I heart you, and then I'm seeing the heart actually turn into heartbreak. I see that this person was digging through your things, or kind of like trying to find evidence of you doing something behind their back. Like I see them possibly going through your phone, your laptop, something like that. Snooping is coming through, and they're possibly telling people what they found or didn't find. Some of you traveled to the city recently, if you're not already living in the city, and maybe you were apart from this person for a while. Or maybe you're just someone that travels a lot. They kind of see you as the villain in their story, because I'm seeing like different villain characters in my mind's eye. So they kind of describe you in that villainous way. But that may not necessarily be true again, but this is how they're seeing it. They feel like you played with their heart, or like played games with them. I just see a lot of anger in the way that they're describing you. Like I keep seeing that. Something about the fact that you shared with them, but perhaps you always took the bigger share. I don't know what that's in regards to, but it's kind of like you did share with them, but maybe they describe a little bit of selfishness there where you took a little bit more for yourself. That may not resonate with everybody, but that's what I see in my mind's eye. And they're saying that they either have cut you off or want to cut you off. I see them speaking to their family about you, like throwing a fit or tantrum. And they're trying to almost like read between the lines of the situation and see things clearly, but I don't think they're fully seeing things clearly. They're seeing things from a place of heightened emotion. Okay, so that is where I'm going to leave the reading. This was kind of heavy, but I feel like the truth needed to come out. Maybe Spirit is warning you about what this person's saying behind your back, because sometimes we don't always know. But, you know, if you already have this difficult relationship with this person and they are speaking about you like this, then maybe it is a sign to distance yourself from them, or just cut out contact completely. So that is all I see for you. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos where we're describing you or describing like how the person's speaking about you, you can check out my memberships. So please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Hi Pal 2, if you chose the Red Jasper Crystal and the Nine of Swords, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at how does this person describe you to others, how they've described you recently for the person in your mind. So please be aware that this is a general reading, only take what resonates, leave the rest, and you can keep this person in mind while I shuffle your cards. So the first thing I see here is this person calling you some kind of like pet name, like I'm seeing Sweet Pea, for example, but I see them maybe like telling people what they call you as their nickname, whether it's honey, baby, my flower, I don't know, like there's just something about them telling people about like the nicknames you have for each other, and them just calling you like very sweet and cute in some way. So how does this person describe Pal 2 to others? How have they recently described Pal 2 to others? I feel these cards. So we have the Two of Swords. We have the Page of Swords reverse. And we have the Two of Wands. Okay, there's something about you knowing how to stand up for yourself. You won't let a person walk all over you. So I'm seeing a vision of a scene I've seen before. I don't know if this is like a reality TV show, but basically the one sister kicked over the can, not the can, the dustbin or something, and then she was like, Pooja, what is this behavior? And then she's like, you're asking for it, you're dying for it, like in the sense of like fighting or beating each other up. So for some reason, I'm seeing that vision, which is making me think that, like, you're not going to let another person just speak to you anyhow. You're going to defend yourself. You're going to kind of, like, fight for what is right. Fight to show your perspective in some way. That's kind of what I see from my mind's eye. There's also something about you being a very lively person, very fun to be around. You're very intelligent and you're possibly creatively inclined as well. They're saying that you kind of have this very like poetic way of thinking, or you're very good at like creative things. Maybe there's some kind of creative talent here, but you don't always like show it to the whole world or show off your talents. You're kind of like humble about it. I just saw the angel number 222 for you. You're possibly also someone that is very decisive, but you tend to overthink and doubt your decisions. You may also have a lot of insecurities holding you back, but this person kind of just sees you as very humble and describes you like that. Possibly something about wanting to travel the world, because I see an airplane and like a person going to like each country. They describe you to have a beautiful smile, to have like a kind of glow to your physical appearance. And there's just something so breathtakingly beautiful about you. They describe you in a way where they're almost like admiring you, putting you on a pedestal is what I see in my mind's eye. They could even say that they like your fashion style. They're also saying that you are always prepared. You always have everything you need. So let's say, for example, you have your handbag or just a bag you're holding or something, and you have a bunch of things in it, and somebody needs something. Like I'm seeing somebody needs a hair elastic and you have one for them. So there's just something about like you always having everything you need physically. Like as in physical items, carrying it everywhere and being prepared in that way. Like the things other people don't think to pack, you pack, and then you kind of just give it to them freely. Maybe you're someone that likes to read a lot as well. You like to be mentally stimulated in your relationships. We could possibly have a lot of air signs watching this pile, or air Mercuries. So next we have the Nine of Cups. We have the Ace of Swords. So I'm hearing your tongue is your weapon. You don't necessarily like fight with your hands, but you know how to fight with your words. Like you know how to say like pretty good comebacks to people that will almost shut them up. Or you just like know how to almost like hurt a person with your words. But you can also be very sweet with your words. I guess it just depends on like how a person treats you at first, what energy they're going to receive from you. But this person says it in a positive way. I don't see them bashing you for that. I see them more so laughing about it and saying, oh, this person's comebacks are so funny. Oh, they made this person eat their words. Like that kind of energy is coming through here. So I don't know if I mentioned Nine of Cups, Ace of Swords reverse, Ten of Cups reverse. I see this energy of you being very homey, comforting to this person. They love your hugs. They could also describe you as someone that overthinks a lot, is in your head a lot. Maybe you struggle with anxiety. There's something about almost like wanting to get our mental health right, or like wanting to find clarity when we're indecisive, because you know what you want, but it's almost like it's not necessarily indecisiveness, because with the Nine of Cups opposite the Two of Swords, it's like you know what you want, but there's still this lack of clarity here, or the sense of like doubting yourself. So maybe you know what decision you want to make, but it's almost like you question it and you overthink it to the point where now you question if you even know what you want to do. Does that make sense? That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here from these cards. I also see this energy of someone that maybe gets overwhelmed easily. I see someone almost like looking at you and wanting to grab your cheeks because you're so cute. So again, there's something you're about describing you as so cute. There's also something about you not being able to hide your facial expressions or what you truly think through your expression. Your expressions are going to tell on you. But you could just be this very expressive person, like through your face. You could know how to make funny facial expressions too. This person is asking people what they think you need or want. There's something about you lacking something and almost like thirsting for it, needing it. This person can see you like want something from them, but they're not exactly sure what you want. So perhaps they're asking people closest to you what you want or need, like how they can give you what you want or need without having to ask you directly. This could be like going to your family members, people that know you really well. Of course, this person feels close to you, but it feels like they're going to someone that maybe has known you for longer than they have. This person wants to be there for you and support you when you're going through things. They could also describe you as someone that can be emotional, but it's not in a bad way. It's more like in a way of maybe they get their feelings hurt easily, but like I want to be there for them. We have the Seven of Cups. We have the Moon. And we have the Seven of Swords. Okay, so there's something about being private about your dreams, about your goals. Like maybe you are trying to protect yourself from the evil eye and you're choosing to be private about certain things. Not secretive, but private. So the moon and the seven of swords here can represent hiding something. The seven of cups represents our dreams, our goals, like those kind of energies. But this is like for your own self-protection. It's not because you're being secretive or hiding anything, but it's for you. Maybe you don't want other people's opinions to interfere with where you're headed. Maybe you don't want other people's jealousy to interfere. Maybe you don't want to reveal all your cards until you know for sure that this is the direction you're going in or this is going to work. Either way, there's just something about you just becoming more private and kind of protecting your peace through that privacy. You also know how to keep a secret. They know that they can tell you all their secrets and you're not going to go and just tell people about it. There's something about having wanderlust, almost like looking at the world through these eyes of wonder and adventure. You also seek thrill in your life, and maybe you're more of a pleasure-seeking person. But you're also someone that's very deep. And I think that maybe you're not someone that likes small talk. You prefer deep conversations, meaningful conversations. And you don't like to be around people that are shallow. Or even people that try to intrude on your business. Maybe you have like a lot of nosy people around you. It's not even curiosity, it's like nosiness. Perhaps something about always being on time. In fact, being so worried about being on time all the time that you may like show up to events or plans early. So we have the King of Pentacles. Something about emotional eating too. So King of Pentacles, the High Priestess. I'm seeing someone that was once a cheerleader in school, unless you're still in school. Four of Cups. That won't resonate with everybody. Five of Cups. And the Ten of Wands reverse. I also see someone that was maybe very good at sports or is very good at sports. Okay, so there's something about you having trust issues. You don't trust people too easily, especially like with personal information. Maybe you used to overshare, but you don't anymore, or maybe you just don't overshare at all. It's kind of like you're very cautious and hesitant when you first meet people about whether you can trust them or not. You have very strong gut feelings and a very strong intuition. I don't know if this person describes it as intuition or what, or if they use other words that kind of point towards that, but there's something about you not fully trusting it or doubting it at times, with the High Priestess showing up reverse. There's also something about you being more of a listener or a good listener, and something about like you not always willingly sharing things about your life to others. Like let's say you're talking to a friend, but you're not that close to this friend yet, and they talk a lot about their own life, and you only like reveal like little bits of information, and maybe only if they ask you you'll reveal more, but you kind of just keep, not necessarily keep things to yourself, but there's just something about like, I don't want to tell everybody everything that's going on. I think when it comes to your goals and your career, sometimes repetitiveness gets boring. Sometimes routine gets boring. Sometimes staying disciplined feels incredibly boring. But you continue to show up for what you need to do. You continue to stay disciplined. You continue to not give up even if you don't see results immediately. And you just try to overall create more structure and discipline in your own life. When it comes to relationships, you may be someone that gives people many chances and This person may have noticed you become like disappointed over and over again when you see yourself like giving people your all and they can't even give you the bare minimum. So this person is seeing you get disappointed by either someone or like multiple people that keep not showing up for you when you need them the most or when it matters the most. And it's almost like this person's heart breaks for you. But it's almost like they want to not necessarily give you tough love in those situations. They want to be there for you and support you emotionally and hug you or like just listen to you. But there's also something about them wanting to tell you once you've gone through that emotion and once you kind of like are fine again, they want to kind of like shake you and tell you you shouldn't allow this to slide. Like, this is not okay. If this person's not showing up for you, when I say this person, I don't mean this person, I mean like another person. They're like to you, they want to say to you, if this person is not showing up for you, then they don't deserve a spot in your life. It's almost like this person's very protective over you, and maybe they're speaking about it, the situation to another person, saying, should I give them tough love or should I just be there for them? So something about that's coming through here. Next we have the King of Swords reverse, and we have the King of Cups. So again, you're a very emotional person, but you don't always show it or express it. Maybe you come across as more logical at first, but then as time goes by, like, people actually see that you're just this very deep, expressive type of person, that things hurt you very easily or get to you very easily. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't see this person painting it in a negative light, but more so seeing it as a positive thing, that you only show that side of you once you're comfortable with the person, once you feel like you can trust the person, because maybe you don't always want to be vulnerable with everybody. Because sometimes when you show your vulnerabilities to people you don't trust, they can use it against you. So there's just something about like protecting your peace and not showing people like everything about you too easily. They need to like show that they're trustworthy. They need to work for that. There's something about them seeing pictures of you as a baby or as a child and saying you were so cute. You could be someone that loves pets. And I'm seeing someone with like a grungy aesthetic. I don't feel like that will resonate with everybody. Overall, you're just this very strong, resilient person. And you catch things on quickly. Like, people might think you won't notice those little things, but you do. You're possibly also someone that works smarter, not harder. And this person knows that you truly care about them. For a lot of you, I'm feeling more so friendship energy from this pile, but it doesn't have to be. Maybe I'm just feeling the majority of the energy. And there's something about you not really focusing on love right now and more so your career. Or just like waiting for the right person, not trying to seek love, but letting it find you. So that is all I have for you. Let me know how this resonated down below in the comments. If you'd like to see more of these types of readings of like how a person's speaking about you or describing you, you can check out my membership. So please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Hi there, Pile 3. If you chose the orange calcite crystal and the Page of Pentacles, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at how have they described you recently to others. And this is for the person on your mind. Please be aware that this is a general reading, so only take what resonates, leave the rest, and you can keep this person in mind while I shuffle your cards. So Spirit Guides of Pile 3, please tap me into their energy. Please show me what this person on their mind is, how they're describing them to others, how they've recently described them. How have they recently described my Pile 3 to others? So we have the Three of Swords. We have the Two of Wands with the Judgment card. So this person does describe you as someone that is mystical, dreamy, very spiritual in some way. You have like this magical quality to you in some way. I am seeing the Barbie Mermaidia movie for some reason, and I'm looking at this woman and she's kind of just standing here, and I'm kind of seeing her step into like this magical circle where it glows. This is what I'm seeing clairvoyantly when I look into the card. So that's why I'm mentioning that. And when I was seeing the Barbie Mermaidia movie, I was seeing that character, I think her name was Delphine or Shelley or something like that. So she's known to transport both fairies and mermaids through the surface of Mermaidia. And she's an oracle who can answer anything a fairy or mermaid can get in his or her mind. So maybe you're just very intuitive in some way. But also with the Barbie movie I'm seeing, maybe this person does describe you to be almost like doll-like, or you look like a Barbie doll or something like that. I'm also seeing that they could talk about your tattoos or piercings if you have any. And I'm seeing more so the streetwear fashion style. Or something about your fashion style just looking very cool and you just being very cool and interesting in general. They also kind of show people your selfies or your Instagram. However, some of you dress in a more like professional, smart casual type of clothing style. Some of you have like this hourglass body shape that this person describes. They really like the way your body looks. Even if you don't have that body type, there's just something about the curve of your body looking really nice. Like when you wear tight-fitting clothes or clothes that kind of hug your figure, it looks really good on you. They could describe you as someone that is very perceptive and observant, but can be a little bit judgmental is what they're saying. I'm not sure if that's true. Now, they're also saying that you get hurt easily and you don't like it when people play with your heart or pull on your heartstrings. I think you're this very kind person, and some people have tried to take advantage of your kindness or tried to pull on your heartstrings and get you to almost like do things for them or feel sorry for them in some way. They maybe talk about heartbreaks you've been through, if you have been through like a breakup or a loss or something. They talk about the fact that you don't necessarily feel left out and you don't necessarily get FOMO. You're just doing your own thing. And you also enjoy your own alone time, but you can be quite outgoing and talkative too and charismatic too. But you don't need other people's validations to feel good about yourself. You don't need other people to like you to feel good about yourself. They could possibly describe you as someone that's very calm and grounded, and you're wise in some way too. You're also a good judge of character, and you make sure that you make good decisions for your life, and you know that your decisions can affect others too, so you're also very thoughtful about the decisions you make in the sense of if it were to affect another person negatively, you wouldn't do that. So you're considerate. You may be someone that's on your phone a lot, texts a lot, almost like chronically online. You may be someone that loves to take pictures of yourself. And somehow you always know the tea or gossip, or you always know like what's going on in other people's lives. Somehow, some way, I don't know why. I don't know if you seek that information or it just finds you. The Three of Pentacles reverse. Then we have the Sun. And we have the Two of Swords. So I heard blackout. So I don't know if you drank and had a blackout recently, but this person's talking about it not in a way of like judging you or anything like that, but kind of like talking about the funny moments that happened when you guys were drunk together or something. Someone here could have a cat. Maybe they speak about your cat. And it's like you sprinkle magic into everything you do. I don't know why I'm getting that energy so strongly. Maybe some of you are kind of witchy. I even see like some here that like to dye their hair like different fun colors. Like maybe dark blue or something. You could possibly like to wear like crystal necklaces or crystal jewelry too. And you could possibly also have like really fun creative hairstyles. I'm also seeing like this boho aesthetic. They talk about the things that you're good at. And I don't know why, but I see this vision of you like over hearing something somebody said or intentionally eavesdropping. And maybe getting hurt based off what you heard, because I feel heartbreak in my heart chakra as I say that. And I see you almost like not wanting to get caught like overhearing this thing that the other person said. So maybe this person has spoken about that scenario if that happened. If it doesn't resonate, don't take it, don't force it. You could be someone that sees the joy and almost like enhances the joy in every moment. Like you bring so much joy to this person and other people around you. And it's kind of like you know how to lift the mood of others or how to kind of like hype up others or make the vibe better. Like you could walk into the room and just like make the vibe better. I don't know how else to explain that, but that's what I see. You like to experience each moment and kind of just take in the moment, stop and smell the roses. You could be this very optimistic, lighthearted, playful, cheerful person that also just gets hurt easily. And you could be someone that is trying to be more responsible, but the decisions you make are more so based off fun or spontaneity or something you want to do rather than just doing it because it's practical or it feels like it's the right choice. So you kind of follow your inner joy when you're making decisions. Like what will make you most happy in that moment. And that's the decision you're going to make. Or what will make others the most happy in that moment. Take it how it resonates. You could also know how to like block out the noise or opinions of other people. You don't really listen to other people's opinions or care about them anyways. And let's say you want to catch a person in some kind of act where you're like suspicious of them. You know how to almost like act like you don't know anything about the situation to get them to tell on themselves. Not this person, but just people in general. That is what they're saying about you. I see someone here that likes using a motorcycle or mountain biking. Is that the correct word or term? I don't know, but I'm seeing something about that. Or someone that is almost just like adventurous, loves the thrill of things, likes to do things that almost like induce fear but also adrenaline. You're also possibly described as someone that is very creative. So next we have the Seven of Swords with the Eight of Wands reverse. Then we have the Knight of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. So you're possibly described as someone that has money but doesn't necessarily show it off. Or if you were to get rich, you would kind of be like that humble rich person that doesn't necessarily show off in some way. I hope I'm making sense, but I see that for some of you. And there's a motorcycle here, so that's confirmation for someone here. I know it won't resonate with everybody. There's something about having nice shoes or a nice shoe collection. They also describe you as someone that almost knows how to hide what you're planning next. you don't like show all your cards. There's this kind of like poker face energy of like, I'm not showing what I'm going towards. I'm not showing my plans. I'm moving in silence. That kind of energy is coming through. And maybe even like not showing your wins to people. I don't know if you've dealt with a lot of envy or jealousy from others, or just negative feedback from others that you like hide that intentionally, but that's kind of what I'm getting in terms of how this person is describing you. You've recently learned how to slow down after just going. You could be described as this pretty ambitious person, and like when you want something, nothing's getting in your way. You kind of like have tunnel vision and you just want to focus on getting towards that goal. But recently you've learned to kind of slow down and kind of not really rush to get to the finish line or to the destination, and to kind of just allow yourself to maybe rest a little bit or something like that's coming through, especially if you struggle to rest, especially if you are a workaholic. But even if you're described as kind of like a workaholic, you still know how to have fun. There's this kind of energy of work hard, play hard. But maybe you're the type of person that always has to be doing something, otherwise you feel restless. But again, like recently you've learned how to slow down. So we have the Temperance card. We have the Ten of Swords. I feel like you're learning lessons around patience right now. Maybe this has to do with love or your career. But for most of you, love, since the Two of Cups is here. Like, maybe some of you are single and you're waiting for the right one to come around, and you've just been waiting for so long, and maybe you've kind of had to learn to be patient and allow things to come through when it's the right time. Sometimes we can like try to force something to come into our life, but maybe it's not the right time. And every time we try to force it, it just doesn't stick, you know. Or maybe some of you found yourself like in a long-term relationship, went through a breakup, and it really broke your heart because you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with somebody, and now you had to kind of like extend this timeline of when you would have this long-term relationship. Maybe some of you just tried to date around and nothing really sticked, and it just wasn't the right relationship for you, and you're kind of just embracing being single right now for some of you and just waiting for the right person to come around. Or if you're in a relationship, maybe you've had difficulties in your relationship. You've had to learn to be patient with this person. Maybe some of you wanted commitment, but maybe this person's taking time to commit to you. Maybe for some of you, it's kind of like you've been through ups and downs in your relationship, and you know, it's almost ended, but you've kind of had to learn to give more grace to one another. Something about that's coming through, something about insecurities or self-worth wounds coming through in regards to relationships. I'm seeing someone that like overthinks a lot when they're in a relationship, but when you're single, you don't. I'm seeing someone that like has relationship anxiety, or just like gets very insecure when they're in a relationship, or maybe just doesn't always know their worth. So something about that description's coming through. You are described as someone that's hardworking, someone that's gentle-hearted, but you don't always know when to leave. It's kind of like loyal to a fault. Like, maybe you've had certain people in your life that have betrayed you. So King of Cups, Eight of Cups reverse, Four of Cups, Five of Swords, Four of Swords. So there's this energy of like you experiencing betrayals in your relationships with both the Ten of Swords and Five of Swords. This doesn't have to be romantic. This could be like a family member. It could be a friend. Whatever it is, you just experienced certain betrayals, or people just not showing up for you in the way you deserve, or treating you the way you deserve, right? And it's almost like you become so attached to people that you don't always know when to let go, even though you know you should protect your own peace. Sometimes it's just hard to let go of that person, even though they're hurting us. So Maybe you're moving into a phase where you're trying to protect your peace and you're trying to almost have the courage and pick yourself back up and almost like stand up in a way where you don't allow things to slide, where you don't stay in relationships that you know aren't good for you. And I feel like that's something you're actively learning right now. That you don't need anybody to rescue you. That you can find your own independence. Maybe there's even a hyper independence here. Or maybe there was a codependence and you're becoming independent. Something about that is showing through in terms of the themes I'm seeing. You could be very good at giving gifts, very thoughtful gift giver. Or some of you could be like an expensive gift giver, like you like buying luxurious gifts. I see someone that is more of a night owl. You could be described as intense by this person, but I don't see them painting it in a negative light. Almost like I'm seeing you want a relationship with a person's almost like obsessed with you, like Morticia and Gomez type of love. And you just give freely, but maybe you've had people in your life that have taken you for granted, haven't always appreciated everything you're giving. Maybe you've had entitled people in your life. I feel like recently you've started becoming more aware of who truly appreciates you and who just wants to take from you. And maybe you're starting to turn your back on those people. Some people just don't deserve your good energy. Some people just don't deserve your whimsical nature. This energy of you just bringing so much joy and optimism into people's lives. This person is saying that some people just don't deserve that or deserve you. So that is all I have for you, pile 3. Let me know how this resonated down in the comments below. If you'd like to see more readings like this in terms of how a person describes you or what a person's saying about you, you can check out my memberships. So please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching and I can't wait to see you next time.